playmaking is what sets things off, and when you're not making plays, it sucks, and we need to find ways to be able to make plays. And I mean, I've never seen a team run the same play as much as they ran it tonight and have as much success as they had. I mean, I'm out of words for it.
Also, with the defense, you guys provided several opportunities for the offense, giving them great field position, and they didn't even catch them with a field goal. So when you get through time of possession, is it true? I mean, defense hates to admit any weakness, but sometimes do you guys get tired after the time of possession favors the other team by such a large margin? If we get a 3-and-out, we're off the field. So it's as simple as that. The attrition is on us for not getting off the field. There's nobody else to blame but ourselves. It's as simple as that.
The play that the Bills kept running on you guys, was it something that you guys talked about going into this week, and what led to the lack of adjustments to counter it?
Absolutely. I mean, we knew that Four was a hell of a runner. I think number 1 or number 2 rushing offense in the National Football League. We knew that he liked to bounce outside, knew that he was an elite running back. Weren't able to stop it tonight.
How much did that impact your ability to rush Allen and be a factor that way?
Significantly.
Did you feel like it was physicality, execution, assignments? Where was the missteps when it came to the run?
We'll have to watch the film, but it was an ass kicking in all areas.
TJ, what's going through your mind when you hear boos when they play Renegade and when they're chanting to fire your coach?
I'm focused on what we can do better as a defense.
TJ, as a leader on this team, what can you do to get this team to play better?
It's a great question. Have tough conversations, but we've been having tough conversations. So it's finding a way to just play better, try to get everybody else. I'm looking at myself in the mirror as well, trying to play better, and we need to figure something out, because clearly what's been going on hasn't been working effectively. To not be able to stack wins in the National Football League is not a winning formula.
TJ, you've been on some teams where the situation mid-season looked bleak, and you guys eventually figured it out. Can you apply any of that to what's going on right now, and how?
We just need to look within, man. I don't want to look at any other examples. We talk about the talent that we have. We talk about everything that we have, but right now we don't have a kick-ass defensive group, and that's all that I can speak on.
What do you guys have to do to get back to being that kind of a group the way you guys thought you could be?
I'm sure we'll discuss that plenty this week.
It seemed like they were running a lot of duo right at you guys and then bouncing Cook outside. What about that concept, the way they run it, made it so hard? And is there anything you guys could have done to try and slow it down?
They were very effective. We tried many different things and weren't successful.
Anything else?
Do you feel like you guys have the answers inside the locker room to counter teams that want to run at you this way?
Yeah, I'd like to think so. I mean, like you say, it's not a tough run concept. I mean, it's something that we need to stop.
Good. Thank you. Thanks, TJ. Michael. Any amount of time to get comfortable because of the wrist, and where was the disconnect tonight with the offense?
Yeah, we just didn't have a lot of positive plays. I felt good enough to be out there. Just not ready to take a snap under center yet. Hopefully next week for that. I'm disappointed in my performance, disappointed in the offensive performance. And we got to flush this one. We're 6-6, and we had a game for the division lead this week.
Everyone lacked in the offensive performance. What caused what we saw tonight?
No, I got to look at the film. But, it's just execution, obviously. But I got to look at the film.
In the third and 9, where you guys ran it to the right with Kenneth Gainwell, was that the called play, or was that something that you guys checked into at the line of scrimmage?
That was called play.
Aaron just didn't cut on the nose, or was it broken or what?
I hope it's not broken. But, yeah, just had to stop the bleeding. It was bleeding all over the place.
As a quarterback, when you guys are down and you're in that down and distance, what did you see on that play to try to run the ball there instead of trying to attack downfield? On the third and 9 where you guys ran.
Come on, man. Do you want to start talking philosophical? Is that what you want? It's 3rd and 9. They brought pressure off that side. So we checked. We had a run called that we checked the blocking. They did on the run, and we had a chance. We had a chance. If that thing hits, nobody says a goddamn thing. If we block on the front side, on the perimeter, I mean, literally everybody's blocked up, and we got to sustain those blocks on the outside. Kenny gets first down there, nobody says a damn thing.
You hit Darnell a couple of times late there over the middle there. Before that, there hasn't been much. It's been a while. Is the offense like avoiding throwing across the middle of the field? Is that a thing, or is it just not happening?
No, there's no avoiding it. There's plays called every single week. There's just not separation and not the coverages that dictate the ball going down the middle of the field. Now that play, it did. It played too high. Darnell did a nice release. We wrapped around the seam runner behind him and made a positive play.
Hearing the inconsistencies that have been happening in this offense, does that stem from something that's not happening in the preparation? You talked about a lack of focus that happens sometimes during the week. Is that what the root of these problems are?
Yeah, we'll look at it. I'm not sure. I thought we had a better preparation week and a poor practice week for whatever reason. I'm not sure if it was the cold weather or what it was, but it wasn't our best week of practice. That doesn't always translate to a negative performance. There's been great practice weeks and bad performances, and poor practice weeks and great performances over the 21 years of my career, but it wasn't the best practice week. So we got to practice in the elements better, and the execution, again, just wasn't where it was. I can give you a better answer on Wednesday, but let me look at the film first.
What happened in practice that tells you that it was a poor practice week?
It's a lot of things, kind of just a feeling. A lot of it's just the energy at practice, and the tempo. So we talked about it, and I thought Friday was better, but I thought, Thursday wasn't a great tempo execution practice for us on offense.
To that end, Aaron, TJ said you thought you guys were flat today. TJ said.
Yeah.
You're great. Based on what you just said about it.
No, there's momentum swings in the game, and I didn't think we had great performance in the first half. We were ahead. There's a lot of conversation at halftime about some different things. We came out, called a play. It was gloved. We hit in the bag, fumbled, 10-7. We just never really recovered from that. I thought there was other parts of the game day experience that were flat as well.
Do you see the flatness within the game and in practice as something that's not being done right from a coaching aspect or preparation aspect that's kind of framing you guys in the wrong way?
I know what you're trying to ask, and I'm not going to go down that road at all. I believe in the coaching staff. I believe in Mike Tomlin. That's why I came here. And players need to take accountability, myself included, and I will continue to. I got to play better. But there's 11 stars on offense, 11 on defense, plus with the personnel groupings that we run. And we got to have a Monday to Saturday that we can be really proud of, our best Monday to Saturday, and go out and play our best game and take control of the division.
Aaron, as an offensive leader, what can you do to help that process?
A lot of things. We had some extra film sessions this week. We had extra walkthrough Saturday night. So I thought the preparation, like I said, was better. But the practice wasn't as good as I thought it was. That doesn't mean you're going to have a bad performance. But the execution today just wasn't good enough.
To that point about...
Did they show you anything different on film? So it's just more your execution?
No, not really. They brought a couple corner pressures that we'd seen, but no, it was playing their coverage and did a good job stopping the run, and there wasn't a lot of guys with a lot of separation.
Aaron, you came here because of Mike Tomlin, you say you believe in the coaching staff. Did you hear the crowd's frustration, some of those fire Tomlin chants in the fourth quarter, and kind of what goes through your mind when the entire crowd is that frustrated and that restless about the situation?
Yeah, that's part of it. They pay money for a ticket, so they have the right, good, bad, or indifferent, to say what they want. So I totally understand the frustration. I've been booed on offense, even in Green Bay, over the years. So that was a boo-worthy performance, and I understand the frustration.
Aaron, the other parts of the game day experience, is there anything you can elaborate on for them?
No.
Aaron, is there anything that you see from a halftime perspective? There's been a number of games where you all led at halftime. However, going into second half, you all lost those leads. So are you seeing anything from an adjustment standpoint that you all could do better in the second half?
I think it's kind of a misnomer for the most part. There's 12 minutes for halftime. Part of that time is coming back in, part of that time is going back out. There's not a whole lot that happens at halftime. You know, there's conversations that happen between myself and the linemen, and conversation from position coaches and coordinators talk, but there's not wholesale changes that need or should be made at halftime. There's little adjustments that you talk about, things you like, openers for the second half, but you know, players, we got to take accountability for our performance. Mine wasn't good enough tonight. I'm sure there are other players as well that feel the same way.
Aaron, even after the way
the accountability. You talked about the accountability of guys needing to hold themselves accountable. You've been on championship teams. You've seen your fair share of locker rooms. This late in the season, is it concerning that that's still an issue right now?
Who said it was an issue?
There are guys not holding themselves accountable.
I never said that. But I said we need to hold ourselves accountable.
Do you feel like people are holding themselves accountable right now?
I do. So didn't hear TJ, but I'm assuming that TJ held himself accountable, and I'm talking about my performance from a critical standpoint. I expect the rest of the guys to do the same.
Two more. After the way things have gone for this team collectively recently, you guys still are in a tight race in the AFC North. What do you think is going to be the key to maximize the opportunity down the stretch?
No, we control our destiny. We got to win. We got 3 division games. 2 of them versus Baltimore next week and the last week of the season. So it's a tough place to play. I played there before during the COVID season. So we got a great fan base and be loud and rocking, and we got to bring the right mindset.
Aaron,
last one here.
Aaron, it seemed like you and some of the receivers were off on some of the routes, the go ball to Roman, the one to Jonu, where either the seam he settled down. There were some scramble drills that seemed a little out of sync. How do you guys build that connection this part of the year, and how do you kind of go through that with your pass catchers, where it's saying, hey, maybe I saw this, you see this, iron those out over the last 5 minutes?
When there's film sessions, everybody shows up, and when I check to a route, you do the right route, you know? Like John and I just weren't on the same page. I checked to his in breaker and he ran out breaker. You know, John is a true professional, so I'm sure he's sick about that. But you know, I threw a ball I thought was going to get hit by the wind, and it was 4 yards over Roman. So I got to make that throw. But, you know, we have our meetings every week. We have other opportunities outside of the facility, and look forward to seeing all the boys there.
All right. Thank you. Thanks,
Steelers Nation, that one hurt. Final score, 26-7. Not just a loss, a collapse. A statement game turned into a harsh reality check. Let's be real, this wasn't just about poor execution. It was a full system failure. Defense, beaten. Offense, disjointed. Coaching, questioned. And the worst part? It happened at home. TJ Watt said it himself. We got our butts kicked in all areas. That's not just frustration, that's truth. The Bills ran the same play over and over, and the Steelers couldn't stop it. Watt admitted they knew what was coming, but couldn't do a thing about it. That's not just a defensive breakdown, that's an identity crisis. He owned it. No excuses, no finger pointing, just accountability. That's what leadership looks like. Aaron Rodgers, he didn't hide either. He said it plain and clear. That was a boo-worthy performance. The offense couldn't get anything going. The blocking failed, routes were mistimed, the energy was flat, and worst of all, Rodgers himself admitted his performance wasn't good enough. He mentioned poor practice tempo leading up to the game, a lack of sharpness, and breakdowns in communication. Even Rodgers, a future Hall of Famer, looked off rhythm, misfiring on throws and out of sync with receivers. Then came the chance, fire Tomlin. That moment hit hard. The frustration in Acrisure Stadium was deafening. It's not just about this game. It's about the weight of expectations, history, and pride. But Rodgers still stood behind Tomlin, saying, I believe in this coaching staff. That's why I came here. The team is 6-6, still in the race, still holding on. But now, it's gut check time. There are 3 division games left, including 2 against Baltimore. The path to the playoffs isn't gone, but it's closing fast. The only way out? Fix what's broken. Fast. The margin for error is 0. So here's the question for you, Steelers Nation. Are we done, or are we getting up swinging? Do you still believe this team can turn it around? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear you. Hit like if you're still riding with the black and gold, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Because win or lose, we fight together. This is Steelers Nation Wire, and the story isn't over yet.